my robot was called Tom. At first, I have to introduce my keywords. I select 3 keywords: trees, food, and berry. Trees means that searching and follow a move object. Food means move something to a particular place. Berry means that put something underground, often in order to hide it. And I chose trees and food. There is a background story. In a small town in America, there is a rich family. The housewife was called Miss Now because she never showed us her face and the name. Someday, a rat suddenly appeared at the house. The housewife planned to feed a cat to dislodge the rat. At the beginning, the cat was called Tom, tried his best to catch the rat, but no achievement. After a long time, Tom learned that the rat was called Jerry and considered a case clearly. The case is that if Jerry disappeared, she would not be required by Miss Now. She will be abandoned. To avoid this sad ending, Tom started to cooperate with Jerry secretly. At Christmas Day, Tom wanted to send a gift to Jerry, but he considered that if Miss Now found this relationship between he and Jerry, he will lose his job and throw away from the house. After carefully considered, Tom got a perfect plan. Jerry pretended to be tripped by the tail by Retrieve and chased by Tom. At a safe place, Tom achieved the Retrieve and put the cheese at the Retrieve. And then Jerry go back to his cave and enjoyed the cheese. So the relationship is that Jerry pulled the Retrieve and Tom twist the Retrieve and put cheese on it. So I played Jerry and this. This is my robot called Tom. This is the Retrieve. Okay. And the task of Tom is twist the Retrieve and put the cheese on the Retrieve. This is the put process. This is the cheese. Okay, let me introduce the mechanism of the Tom. This card is where I put the cheese, and this is the sour motor. Sorry, it's a mistake. This is sour motor, and if the distance sensor found that it have approached or achieved the object, the sour motor will move to rotate this part and release the cheese. This is the air sensor. It could got the direction of the objective. The objective is the Retrieve. And here is the motor and the gearbox. Here is the bowcaster. Okay, here is the Retrieve. This is the IR LED. It is the IR source. Let the air sensor to get the direction of the Retrieve. Here's the bowcaster. I will pull this Retrieve, let the chum to trace it. This is sensor. AR sensor to get the direction. The distance sensor is ultrasonic sensor to get the distance between the Retrieve. And after I beginning the algorithm, the AR sensor will get the date and get the direction of the Retrieve, and it will rotate to the direction and achieve to and turn to the direction. If it turns to the direction, it will it will to get the ultrasonic sensor data to determine the distance between the redshift. If not, it will go on to turn to that direction. And then if it turn to the right direction, if the distance between the redshift less than 2 cm, it will release the cheese and it will end. If not, it will go ahead and then receive the air sensor data again to determine the direction of the redshift. This is the movie. The problem I have met is unreasonable design at the beginning. The first is circuit. I have met the limited of the output current of register, so it will make my motors don't have enough torque load to move this to drive this cart. And I leave too many space, and it let my robot so heavy. But I have leave enough space for the after work for the future plane. I could attach more sensors or the movement parts. And the unreasonable resource assign of the microcontroller at the beginning. I use the same timer to control the DC motor and the servo motor at first. And then I found the control method to control the DC motor and the servo motor is totally different. Because the PWM thread is totally different, so it's very hard to control these two motors by same timer. So I moved the servo motor to the timer 3. So I don't have enough timer channels to receive the encoder sensor state. So I didn't attach the encoder sensor to my robot, but it works. But it could work because in my algorithm I avoid this problem. And I have a plan to improve my robot. First is algorithm. I want to process the AR sensor state by interpolation to get a more precise direction. Because it just have a 45 degree. The current direction process is 45 degree. I want to get a more precise direction just by these 8 IR sensors. So I have to use some method algorithm is interpretation. And the hardware, I want to attach unwired communication module to debug easily. I have to debug it, connect to the computer and get the date. It needs communication. And then currently it needs USB cable, but I want to attach an unwired cable, for example RS233, and a more ultrasonic sensor because it makes enhance the success of boot process. Sometimes it will the red chip will have actually approach the Tom robot, but the AR sensor could not get a right distance. So sometimes it could not put the cheese on into the red chip. This is a problem. So I think maybe at least the 2 ultrasonic sensors necessary. And then programming. Now now I process the air sensor state in the main in the main programming. I want to use DMA model to get the air sensor state. It will reduce the main program's price. It will improve its control frequency. And I want to use matter to get ultrasonic sensor state. It will be more precise. Okay, I will. Thank you for your help and your listening, and I will show my robot for you.